All right, guys, what's up? It has been a crazy, hectic, I should say day. Yeah, morning, day for me. I've been busy with clients, live streams, editing, and I apologize. I'm about 15 minutes late on my second live stream. And the first one this morning, the internet was kind of acting a little bit funky, so I had to cut that one off short. So wherever you are tuning in, I say welcome. If you haven't already, I just got finished uploading my breakdown of David Morrell and Imam Khataev. So you can check that out under the playlist section, Fight Predictions. If you guys are new to my channel, the channel is constantly growing. So some of you guys are new and you come and you just watch these live streams and you comment about how kind of hectic they are. These live streams are for the subscribers and guys who've been on my channel for a while, who love boxing, who love betting. If you want the edited, produced, professionally shot videos, breakdowns of the fights, just go to my playlist section and find Fight Predictions. That's where you'll find those versions of the videos. If you like this modality, you're welcome. You know, we're here. I'm going to keep this on as long as we got the conversation going. So I woke up with some prop bet options. Before we get to that, I want to say we went live on Gary from 3D Boxing, his channel, about an hour and a half ago. If you tuned in then, thank you for doing that. If you haven't subscribed to Gary's channel, go there now. 3D Boxing, hit subscribe. That video is on the playlist. I'm trying to download it from my channel, and I'll put that on my channel as well. What we did was we debated. He's picking against Edgar Berlanga, and my prediction was for Berlanga. He's going with Hamza Shiraz. It was a fun, educated chat back and forth. Muscles was on that live stream as well. So if you want to catch that, it's on Gary's channel now. I'm currently downloading it. I'm going to put it on my channel as well. It was a fun little chat. It's always fun to kind of, you know, go back and forth with somebody who knows their stuff when it comes to boxing. Sometimes it's tough to do that because, you know, people can get really emotional about the sport. Some people are fanboys. Those guys over at 3D, Gary, Muscles, they know their stuff. So it was fun. I'll do that anytime. What's up, Goat? Goat's in the house checking in. Wherever you're tuning in. What's up, boxing fan? I'm glad you, yeah, it was a fun debate. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're trying to figure that out once a week. And I think that's where we're trending. You know, like-minded minds, it's fun to do, and I'm noticing a lot of crossover with subscribers. So I do my best to kind of send people his way, and you know, I want his channel to grow. I started my channel. I've only been doing these live streams for about 6 weeks. I've been doing just boxing content for about 2 years, and I started adding the betting element only for about maybe 6 months, basically because you guys asked for it. So I listened to you, and so I'm adding. I used to do my fight breakdown videos and not give you a prediction. I would just do the Stats Don't Lie videos and just end them. And after a while, I was reading all the comments. People were like, dude, what the hell? Who wins? Give me your prediction. And I was kind of hesitant on that because my whole goal with my channel was to give a unbiased approach to boxing. And the only way to give a prediction, you have to show biasness one way or the other. So I do my best with kind of walking that tightrope on still giving you my prediction without showing bias. And that's always my goal. Just use statistics, use logical reasoning, that sort of thing. Landslide, I'm glad you appreciate it. And a lot of you guys have been asking me to start a Discord. For now, it's funny you say that. I'm going to start a Discord. I'm going to start in the near future. YouTube, I don't know if YouTube listens to all these chats. You know how, like, we always talk about our phones are listening to us. I'm sure you guys, everybody can agree that you'll have a chat with your mates and then all of a sudden your phone is sort of promoting a product. And you're like, what the hell? We were just talking about that. YouTube, my YouTube channel, just started promoting a membership sort of option. Basically, another option for people to support the channel, support the page. All I did was click a box and it featured it on my channel. And I know Boxing Fan was the first one to support me in that way. So I'm just referencing that. I say, thank you, Boxing Fan. I appreciate you. I got the notification this morning that said, you're joining as a member. And then I'm going to add more VIP features to the ones who do pick members. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I do my best. I love the sport. You know, I'm a nerd. I'm a boxing head, and you know, I take pride in not even if I'm wrong. I'm not, guys. This is important. I think this goes. This is how I kind of hold true to a lot of my belief systems. Is that whenever we're learning about something, whenever we believe in anything, I think it's important though psychologically not to get married or handcuffed to any sort of ideas, strictly any sort of ideas, because that's when we could kind of pigeonhole ourselves creatively. And I'm not trying to get too esoteric with this. When I say that with boxing and my picks, I'm not married to any sort of, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you that. And if I pick against a fighter in one fight, I mean, it doesn't mean I'm going to pick against him in the next fight. For instance, I had Benavidez over Morrell. Benavidez beat Morrell. Morrell is now fighting Imam Khataev, and I'm picking Morrell to beat Khataev. I think it's a tough fight. Guys, I do want to get into some prop bets if you guys want to get into that. You know, feel free. You can ask away. We'll see how long this stream goes for. My sports book, my betting app is just releasing some odds, and there is a lot of 50-50 fights, guys. Just because I pick Berlanga to beat Shiraz, I'm not, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the smart, like where I'm going to go heavy on. The money line is good value. I do have that on my long parlay. I have Edgar beating him on the money line. But for me, and I brought this up in the debate, I do like the fight not to go the distance. And that's an opportunity if you're kind of torn. You know, I don't want to say it's a way to hedge my bet, but I think it is. Because, you know, on one method of victory, on one parlay, I have Berlanga, Shiraz not to go the distance. One bet. Go heavy on that. And even if Berlanga loses, let's say Hamza stops him, I still win that bet. So that I like that bet, you know, because I could see Ed stopping Shiraz. Morrell money line is something else would likely be my place. Yeah, go. And this is the narrative that I've been working with on my channel the last few weeks. Is sometimes our eyes could get too big. And what I don't want a repeat, GOAT, is what happened last time in New York. Because I think you might have hit. I didn't hit. I got beaten up last time we had a card in New York. And I don't want, last time we had this big ring card, you know, I'm referencing the Raleigh versus Ryan card. You know, I was wrong with Barbosa Jr. versus Teofimo. I was wrong with Raleigh versus Ryan. The only fight I got right was Devin. So I'm thinking about doing the same thing. I'm thinking about going heavy on a method of victory. I also like Playo versus Matias to go the distance. I like that money. If you could get Playo versus Matias to go the distance. Even though I'm taking Playo on my long parlay money line, I don't, you know, I'm much more confident in that fight to go the distance either way than seeing Matias stop Playo. I just feel my reasoning. I think GAR, I don't really like doing triangle math, but in my head, if GAR couldn't stop Playo, I don't see Matias stopping Playo. Same thing with Berlanga versus Shiraz. Canelo couldn't stop Shiraz. Canelo couldn't stop Berlanga. Mike, what's up, buddy? Great question. So let's focus on this for a couple minutes. Mike asks, do we like the fight to go the distance or to get stopped? Shakur Stevenson versus Zepeda. I got to be honest with you. I could see, you know, if I'm going to follow my reasoning, if I'm going to follow my breakdown reasoning for why I like Shakur. I like Shakur in that fight. Obviously, we know what he does really well, but we know what William Zepeda does really well. Based on Zepeda's strengths, I could see a stoppage. And sometimes that's how you got to bet. Sometimes my reasoning on my bets aren't necessarily based off of what a guy doesn't do well. It's what a guy does well, and then I'll bet against that. You know, stylistically. Zepeda, pressure forward, volume style fighter, everything kind of looks the same in terms of his pace and his output and his gear. It's volume, volume, volume. He doesn't really change speeds on his punches. I could see Shakur using his timing, precision, hurting Zepeda to the body. I could see him hurting Zepeda to the body, running in and getting caught with something to the ribs, getting under those elbows. I could see Shakur at least you know, if you guys could get a knockdown prop, I'm not committing to this yet. I like the knockdown prop. They're not going to shrink the ring. What's up, Johnny Williams? Great question. The ring might be smaller, but I think we'll get to that. Let me finish my thought. Shakur Zepeda. I like an over 0.5 knockdowns in that fight, so I could see all you got to do is find a prop to where one of them drops to the canvas. I could see that happening. And statistically, people were saying, well, Shakur's not doesn't have a lot of power. Zepeda, neither guy's been stopped. I could see that fight getting stopped. How do you become a member? Boxing fan, how did you find that option to become a member on my channel? Zepeda going to get done like Yoshino. And Pete, dude, before Yoshino the fight, let me wasn't Yoshino? See, I think I'm expecting Shakur, a performance out of Shakur like against Jamel Herring. Sean Burdett, I got Shakur and Berlanga. Man, I love that, Sean. I love it. It's not going to be a popular bet in most boxing circles, but I love it. Yep. It's not a bad comparison, GOAT. Like if you like Shakur, you gotta love the timing. You gotta love his counterboxing. You gotta love his defense. You gotta love his slickness. And I mean, Zepeda isn't. The difference between Zepeda's approach and Edwin's approach is that, Edwin had more power. You remove the danger element from Shakur's sort of decision-making. I mean, Zepeda has a lot of stoppages. Once you subscribed, it automatically gave me the option. Oh, interesting. So that's for new subscribers then. I'll figure that out. I'll do a post about joining, guys. People are questioning about joining the VIP, which I'm going to be, creating content just for the members. Members only VIP. YouTube just added that feature to my channel. I know Boxing Fan, new subscriber. When he subscribed, he got the option to do that. I'll share it on my page, and because I know it's giving me options to create content only, member only content and member only streams, which is going to be high value because then we could do live streams. We could pick certain live streams based on what you guys want and talk solely on that. And that's where I'll bring some of you guys on because I don't see it happening a lot. I don't mind, bringing some guys on to have different opinions and approaches, especially if we're disagreeing on topics. Watch parties for sure. So keep that, just stay tuned to the channel. You guys know how active I am. Shakur was an Olympian. If you ever go to amateur card, it's a lot of guys that fight like Zepeda, and also they have sparred before. GOAT, I like how comfortable you are with it, GOAT. I mean, you historically the picks that you make, you don't usually come to off the wall with them. Berlanga, but I like the Berlanga. Berlanga couldn't knock out Caceres, and Caceres was stopped by Pacheco, then Iglesias. Okay, but then if we're playing boxing math, guys, Canelo couldn't stop Berlanga. Do you think Canelo would stop Shiraz? Also, I don't know. I don't know. Then he went the distance with that Irish guy, Boo Boo Andrade. Doo-doo Andrade. This cat is wild. Somebody asked about the trilogy, Dubois versus Usyk. It's an interesting fight. I can't look too far ahead with the Dubois versus Usyk because we got so many fights in front of us, guys. I'm a parlay guy, too. Give me 1 second with the short. Somebody talked about David Eister. So we're doing boxing maths, right? Berlanga couldn't stop so-and-so. Yeah, I agree. So Ammo is a small 160. I learned a lot about Hamza against Adames. I don't rank Ammo as world class, and that's nothing against Ammo Williams. I talked about that earlier on the debate. I like Ammo. You could tell he's green. Back and buys. I don't think Ammo's world class. It's a good win. It's his best win. I just didn't like Shiraz's. I didn't like Shiraz's body language against Adames. I think Shiraz. I think he's brave. How I said Zepeda, how Shakur's going to use Zepeda's aggressions. He's going to use Zepeda's strength against him. I think Berlanga is going to use that because if Shiraz wants, I don't think it's a secret. If Shiraz wants to fight a smart fight, he wins on the outside. He uses his jab because Shiraz could fight at different ranges. He could fight well at distance. He could fight off his back foot, but he likes to fight in the pocket. I think Shiraz likes to fight in the pocket. I think that's how Berlanga wins, though. What's up, Sal? Carlos, appreciate you, boys. Wherever you're tuning in, like this video. I don't think Morrell goes the distance, Chiv. So to finish my point, I think if Hamza was smart, he would fight Berlanga at distance. He's better at that range. Hamza has the better jab. Like, I think he has more ways to win, but I really think that Shiraz, he has a big ego. He's going to fight Berlanga's ego. I think the majority of the rounds happen in the pocket. I like Berlanga's hand speed. I like Berlanga's power. And, you know, Hamza's chin, when he exits the pocket, right? I talked about this earlier. Same thing with Fundora. A lot of tall fighters, they come here. When you see Berlanga, he does a lot of his good work with his head. He wants to put his head on your chest here and here. I could see him catching Shiraz right on the chin over the top. And that's exactly what I'm expecting. To answer your question about Morrell and Khataev, we covered him on Khataev versus Derval Palacio. Derval Palacio, he got dropped early, but he withstood that barrage and took Khataev the distance. I could see Morrell stopping Khataev. Khataev has some bad tendencies. He has been able to beat everybody with his power. Going into the Derval Palacio fight, Khataev was 9-0 with 9 knockouts, right? He thinks he's just going to steamroll everybody. And as that fight went into the 5th, 6th rounds, he started getting tired. He started getting gassed. Derval Palacio was coming along. And the thing about Khataev, he uses his chin. He literally takes so many headshots, doesn't move his head off of the midline. He drops his guard. And I just feel that David Morrell has too much power for that, too much class for that. I think Morrell stops Khataev late. To answer your question. What's up, good? Yeah, I don't think Berlanga Shiraz goes the distance. My favorite bet of that fight is the fight not to go the distance. If you want to be safe, if you don't want to pick a winner, Berlanga Shiraz, will the fight go the distance? No, I don't. I think someone gets stopped. I think, you got, like one of you boys said, you think he's not going to stop Khataev. We'll see. I think he stops Khataev. I mean, when you look at, if we want to go, what have you done for me lately? I learned a lot about Morrell against Benavidez. I'm actually a bigger fan of Morrell now after he lost. I learned all I needed to know about Morrell through his loss against Benavidez, and I gave Benavidez a lot of those rounds. But I didn't know Morrell was that big of a dog. I was always questioning sort of his resilience, his grittiness, his durability. I think he's going to take those lessons against Benavidez. I think Imam Khataev is tailor-made to get stopped against Morrell. That's all I'm going to say. We'll see. Time will tell. I think Morrell handles Khataev. Khataev, no head movement. His guard is lacking. He thinks he could knock everybody out, so his gas tank isn't the best. I could see Morrell pouring it on and stopping him late. I love that bet, actually, to be honest with you. It's one of the bets I really like this week is Morrell to stop him. Well, they kind of promoted a landslide as 2 main events: Shiraz Berlanga and Shakur versus Zepeda. It was an odd thing how they kind of talking about who's the main and who's not. He was. Derval Palacio was coming on in that fight, JP. What a great way to put it. He went life and death with an Argentinian. What a great way to put it. Matias better than Cruz. Matias better than Cruz. I think Matias better than Cruz. Johnny, have you thought about switching to Bet365? Goat, I downloaded Bet365. That shit gives me anxiety though, mate. There's so many options on it. And you have to like search the fighter. Maybe just call it. Maybe I'm just comfortable in my ways. But like Bet365, you'll look for a fight, it doesn't show it, and then you have to manually type in Alberto Playo, and then it comes up. I need that shit spoon-fed to me. If I'm being honest with you. I need it all bracketed, serve me on a plate. I like service. You know, I'm a service type of guy. But I do have it downloaded on my phone. Maybe I just need to get used to it. So some of you guys are picking, so you like Morrell. You guys think Morrell by decision is a safer bet. I'd say he's also, I don't know, man, Cruz is, are we, oh, Cruz. Oh, okay. What are your locks for this weekend? So it's only Tuesday afternoon, Chiv. I'm going to release those locks in a couple days. So I've been thinking about it. Right. I really like Puello versus Matias to go the distance. Are you guys talking? You guys are talking about Pitbull and Fierro, I think. I like Puello Matias to go the distance. I don't know what those odds are saying. Are you guys really debating Pitbull Cruz to beat Matias? Is that what I'm seeing here? I think Matias stops Cruz. What did I miss? Matias has the same weight as Isaac Cruz. I mean, I don't. Are some of you guys saying Pitbull beats? Are you saying Isaac Cruz beats Subaru Matias at 40? Goat in the house. Well, they mentioned a possible fight between Pitbull and Matias. How do you? Wow. I mean, that is stylistically, that is a dangerous fight for Pitbull. Let's go, chat. I appreciate you. I think Matias needs to worry about Puello first, and Pitbull's fighting Fierro again. Pitbull would get his. That's what I'm saying, Goat. Are people really saying Pitbull would beat Matias? You think that's a bad style matchup for Matias? Landslide. Oh, all you guys are taking care. Appreciate you, boys. I'm saying that Matias and Cruz suffer. Okay, Havelock. A man clarifying it. Matias and Cruz have the same problem. I would put I would actually put Matias's skill set above Pitbull, actually. Or like his overall, what Matias brings into the ring, altogether, I would actually put that above Pitbull. If Matias's chin gets touched a couple times, it might be a problem. The fight can still happen. Yeah, it could happen for sure. My problem with that matchup with Matias versus Pitbull is the height and how Pitbull likes to fight. What's up, Alexander? Ask some of the boys from America on the stream. I live in Australia. It's a good question. I living here in Sydney, I don't get any boxing on TV. It's all streamed. Joseph Peters, yo, Johnny, tuning in from Australia. Atlanta, the ATL. What's up, Joseph? Appreciate you. The ATL in the house. Sugar Hill, Atlanta. That's where Evander Holyfield grew up. Matias is a true knockout artist. Pitbull just throws hooks like a video game. He's lucky Tank was injured in the fighting. Yeah. I don't think it's shocking to say Pitbull has had some really sort of kind of par to the course fights. They're not going to shrink the ring. Boxing fan, appreciate the love. Pitbull's a front runner to me. He throws bombs for the first 4 or 5. Yeah. Guys, if you're asking about the ring shrinking in fight, there's no way there's no commission in the world to approve a mechanical ring. I mean, think about the New York Commission. The New York Athletic Commission just approved MMA in recent years. Up until a couple years ago, the UFC couldn't go to New York. To think that New York would, yeah, he's trolling. To think that New York, any commission would allow a mechanical cage is insane. Yeah, some people. I mean, he's joking, but I think it's relevant that some fans are asking if it's true or not. You know what I'm saying? This modern era, you got to ask the question. Yeah, Alexander, I do go to the cards here in Sydney. I was at I was front, Tim Zhu versus Harrison. I was just, ringside of Sam Goodman versus Cesar Vaca. There's a fight coming up next week, Gallon versus Sonny Bill. I mean, the disrespect Turkey throws at the fighters is insane to me. So David Eister thinks Matias would lose against Pitbull. We won't know until we see it. Mac, Johnny, what's Morrell by decision? I think David Morrell stops Khataev. I think Khataev, only GK House top rank, Malinki ring. Okay, so that ring you're talking about, Vito. Let me answer you, GK. That ring size was decided upon, and rumor is, I just talked to Gary about this from 3D. He said that it really wasn't a top rank card. He said that Vito Melnicki, he didn't clarify this. I asked him this question because I was watching the fight, and he said, because he was there, he said the ring was not only insanely tiny, but the marketing in the event, the marketing there, I think it was at the Prudential Center in Jersey, didn't have top rank stuff there. So what I'm guessing why that ring was so small, Vito Melnicki's father, a promoter, Daniel Vega, yeah, I've been hustling today. Vito Melnicki's father had to go out of pocket, to get Vito the headlining event, because it should have been Jahai Tucker versus Truck as the main, right? And then, I'll get you in a second, Mac. And then the ring was small because they thought Melnicki was going to eat and get a viral knockout, but he didn't. And so, I think money, he definitely went out of pocket. He definitely went out of pocket. Mac, the Khataev versus Morrell fight. Let's watch the last fights from each guy, right? Let's watch the styles. I picked, I'm a bigger fan of David Morrell after the loss to Benavidez. I wasn't sold on Morrell. I wasn't sold on his toughness, his grittiness, his willingness to actually be in a fight until the Benavidez fight. And so for me, it's an instance of a guy losing, and now I'm like, okay, he's legit. Khataev's last fight was against a run-of-the-mill, no shade to Derval Palacio. Derval Palacio's been in there with some good guys, but Derval Palacio was sent from Argentina to Australia to get knocked out. Khataev, the way he fights, he has one gear. He has one speed. He throws everything with one speed. He doesn't move his head. He relies on his backhand. He drops his guard. He's way too brave. He's gotten away with a lot of bad habits defensively. And I always say, you get away with these things until you don't get away with them, right? Khataev has fought club level, 9 wins, 9 knockouts. He fights Derval Palacio, a kind of road warrior sort of guy, doesn't stop him. And now the biggest step up, that fight with the distance, dude, Derval Palacio was winning rounds late. Derval Palacio was landing some bombs against Khataev late. Rewatch that fight. I was getting worried because I bet on that fight. And it was the first time that Khataev goes to a decision. His gas tank was not where it should be. He wins the fight. And he gets the Morrell fight. Landslide, I'm working on it, by the way. I downloaded. I did a chat. I'm working on it, Landslide. So this is by far Khataev's biggest step up. And right now, the money line odds, Morrell's $1.16. So 100 on Morrell on the money line gets you your money back plus $16. Khataev's not quite a 5-1 dog. But will there be a knockdown? Will the fight go the distance? No. So if you think that Khataev is going to live up to that 10-0, 90% knockout to win ratio, will the fight? I like Morrell to stop Khataev, and if you want to play it safe, will the fight go the distance? No. I mean, think about it. Neither guy has over 85 pro rounds either. They both go about their business really quickly. They want to get you out of there. kind of similar in that approach. One has, I think, 11 pro fights, 12 pro fights. The other has 10 pro fights. One has an 80% career knockout to win ratio. The other guy has a 90%. So there are similarities, but I think where the distance and gap is Morrell's skill set. After seeing Farmer drop Cepeda, that might also be a winnable fight for Cruz. Oh, Cruz versus Cepeda. I don't know, man. Didn't we just see Pitbull Cruz look really average? What am I seeing that? What are you guys seeing that I'm not seeing in Pitbull? Because I think Pitbull, I mean, he was a world champion, and he's still pretty young, to be honest with you. I don't know, man. Yeah, there are the girl fights. I broke down some of the girl fights. Yeah, Cruz is only 27, which is insane. The only girl fight I like, of the girls, I have Amanda beating Katie, which isn't a popular pick, but I think Amanda beats her. And then all the other odds are one-sided. I mean, you could put together a cheeky money line parlay and just pick the favorites in the girls. Yeah, let's see Pitbull. He did not look good in the last fight against Fierro. I didn't think he looked good. He lost that split decision to Rayo. He stopped Rolly. He won a split decision against Gio Cabrera. You know what it is with Pitbull, guys? You know what it is? It's him taking Tank to the distance. It's him losing a decision to Tank. Yeah, Fierro's tough, but I think a lot of, fair enough. One of the only guys at the time, I mean, Tank, stops everybody, so he takes him the distance. People want to see, and that's just kind of how dominant Tank has been. You go the distance and lose, people, call for a rematch. It's kind of like Berlanga. So I brought this up on the debate earlier on Gary's live stream about Berlanga. He knows that a lot of the haters, he only has about 80 pro rounds as well, Berlanga. What's up, Carlos? I missed that one. What'd you say there, buddy? Carlos, repeat that. I missed your question. Pitbull's living up. Yeah, Havelock, exactly. And it's kind of like with Berlanga, he only has about 80 pro rounds. And people said he couldn't go the distance. You know what I'm saying? People said, 16 first-round knockouts against, bar-level guys. Canelo's going to stop you. You can't go the distance. He goes the distance with Canelo, and he has the parade. And I think the parade made sense in my head for him to do it, even though he lost, because he felt he won by proving the naysayers wrong that he couldn't go the distance with Canelo. And sometimes in comparison to what we're talking about with Pitbull, you win fans that way. Like a lot of Pitbull fans were like, oh shit, he took Tank the distance. And I mean, I don't think Pitbull, I don't know. I think Matias stops Pitbull. That's where he was brought up in this conversation. Somebody said he beats Matias. Yeah, I'm not sold. I've never watched Pitbull fight and be like, damn, he's fun to watch. He has a fun, friendly style. I put the house on Berlanga. Who you got in that fight? Thinking about putting Brett on Morrell too. No cap. No cap. I got Berlanga. I think Berlanga beats Shiraz. I do. And my reasoning on that has to do with Berlanga's hand speed, his power. Carlos Vargas, 4'9". Berlanga will go in there, high guard, break the jab. Yeah, guys, that's right. Carlos, whoever reshared that, thank you for doing that. Berlanga has to answer the jab, guys. That's going to be, like, Shiraz. If Shiraz wants to be smart, Shiraz wins the fight at distance. I don't think Shiraz is going to do that, though. I think because Shiraz likes fighting on the inside. I brought this up earlier. If Shiraz wants to be smart, he could outbox Berlanga. He has better feet than him. He wins the fight at distance. Matias over Puello. Don't listen to. You don't have to listen to me. Good. Don't listen to me. I don't care. I'm not trying to sell you guys on anything. You're asking me my opinion. I'm giving it to you. And what's the case you can make for guys beating Cruz that are sluggers? What's the case? I think we're going to start seeing Cruz. If you do stop Cruz, you got to go to the body, even though it's a smaller target. Nobody's really been able to break him down to the body. Everybody headhunts him. He has that like peekaboo style sort of thing, and stop his feet. Cut the ring off, stop his feet, go to the body, break down to the body, and he's not the most technical guy either. He, like you said, he's a slugger. He throws unorthodox sort of whipping big hooks. Yeah. Fierro's not that guy. I think he should handle Fierro, right? Fierro's tough as nails. Tank is the most overrated fighter. I'm not a Tank Davis fan, so I'm not going to defend him here. Damn good. You're out here gambling on girl basketball. All right, guys. We got a dude in the stream. So Good comes on the stream every day, and I appreciate you for your support. He comes with these outrageous takes, these hot takes, right? He then also gets into back and forth with people about boxing. Meanwhile, my man is at home watching girl basketball. No offense to any ladies, but he's gambling on girl ball. My man's insane. Fierro beats. Good's out here gambling on the WNBA. Dude is wild out here, boy. That's all I got to say. Addicted. We used to say she got addicted to what the dick did. Anyway, Good. He's going to have some hot take. I won $10,000 on this girl. She hit 30. She had 10 and 12. Y'all just hating. Yeah, guys, if you're struggling gambling, man, you got to, if you're not having fun and it's not entertaining, don't do it, guys. You got to have boundaries. I'm an ex-hooper, too. Gambling on girl ball is still wild, though. I mean, I still, I played ball my whole life. Dude, I can tell you the 90s, the 1994 Cleveland Cavs roster. Mark Price at the point. This is when we had Craig Elo at the 2. Hot Rod Williams was in our starting 5. Brad Daugherty was our 5. And then we had Larry Nance as our swingman. We should have beat that. We should have beat that Bulls team too. The 89 team. When Jordan hit the shot over us. I'm an old head though. I turned 15 into 1. Dude, do your thing. I'm just clowning. Damn, cats are... Look, guys, I'm just clowning you. This is a boxing stream. The longer you stay around, we like clowning around here. So don't take anything personal. Jay Kidd, man, University of California, Cal Golden Bear. Jay Kidd was my guy. What do you mean? Kidd was a guy... Jason Kidd was such a talented point guard to where he was a guy early on in his career, was such a facilitator, would never shoot the ball. It would actually, hurt his team. He wouldn't shoot the ball, and he slowly started turning into a better scorer as he matured into his game. But Jay Kidd was a beast, even coming out of college. Watch when he was balling at Cal, the Golden Bears. Big Kidd fan. I was doing I did NBA content on the channel, so I've had this channel for a while. It got taken down a couple times because I was figuring out the copyrights. So I went through a phase of doing this series on NBA, basketball players who people forgot about, and what a whole series about what ifs, like if Derrick Rose never would have got injured, that sort of thing, or if Penny Hardaway would have never got injured, think about the Hall of Famers in the Jordan era who never won a ring. So people like comparing Jordan to, they compare LeBron to Kobe to Jordan, that sort of thing. But when you think about the brilliance of Michael Jordan, you have to think about his overall era. And he played with countless Hall of Famers who never won rings because of him. Reggie Miller never won a ring. Charles Barkley never won a ring. Karl Malone, ringless. Stockton never won a ring. Dominique Wilkins never won a ring. Patrick Ewing never won a ring. John Starks never won a ring. So these things, because of one guy, MJ, and I'm a Cavs fan. I'm a Cleveland Cavs fan. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for tipping. I put the bag on this pole. Let's go, Carlos. So when people are, I grew up an hour from Cleveland, diehard LeBron fan. You win a world championship in Cleveland, I'm always going to be a fan of you. How far do you think Nick Ball can go? Nick Ball's fighting Sam Goodman. That's an easy fight for him. Solid bet, my opinion. Carlos, boxing fan. Carlos, I like the bet. A lot of you guys come with some educated bets. Guys, and remember, if you ever want me to feature your bets, comment on our posts. I'll screenshot them for you, and then I'll share them. We've been doing that week to week, finding a lot of values. A lot of you guys know what the hell you're talking about, and it's not always agreeing with me. So I learned stuff too. So if you want me to share your parlays in any of the videos, just at me so I see your comment, and then I'll screenshot it and then repost. I've been doing that for some of you guys. But yeah, to put a exclamation point on that NBA chat, Jordan, man, unbelievable. Hakeem won a ring though, dude. The team's down in Houston. Olajuwon, dude, unbelievable. You know, this team he had with Clyde Drexler, Robert Horry. I'm pretty sure Big Shot Bob was on Hakeem Olajuwon's squad. Why do I think it was Olajuwon? I know Drexler. I think Drexler came from Portland. And Big Shot Bob. That's another guy. Robert Horry got 6 rings. People forget about that guy. Oh, yeah, Hakeem won a ring for sure. He's one of the only guys to win a national championship and 5 Slamma-Jamma. Good. I'm just clowning, mate. If I didn't mean to offend you. If you're winning money, keep doing it good. Hitchinson versus Pueo. It's a good matchup. So Big Shot Bob has 7. Insane. Yeah, good. We see eye to eye on that. I ain't trying to do all them little nail painting. I don't got, as Cedric the Entertainer, I don't got time. I don't got time for painting all those nails. You know what this is this is kind of like the momentum. If you guys remember in the 90s, I think it was David Stern, the NBA commissioner at the time. He was pissed off at how all the players would dress in hoodies, especially Allen Iverson. At the time, they called it the AI rule, to where he made a rule change to where if you're an NBA player, you had to dress a certain way. You weren't allowed to wear street clothes anymore to do, media obligations. And, you put restrictions on anything, it always turns the other way. I'm torn on. That was around 05, the fashion dress code. Yeah. But one thing about back to Michael Jordan, and like I said, I come from a house of diehard Cleveland fans, and Jordan, what propelled Jordan on from being a loser, it took him 7 years to win a playoff series. It took him 7 years. He never won. He couldn't get past the Pistons until Game 5, Richfield Coliseum in Cleveland. He hits that shot over Craig Elo. And I was 7 years old watching that. And, that shot made me cry. I had to hide under my kitchen table so my dad wouldn't see me cry. And my dad, though, would always say, hey, Johnny, watch Michael give post-game interviews. He was like, watch how he carries himself. Watch how classy this guy is. Watch what he's wearing. And in the late 80s and 90s, MJ, after every game, was always creased up and pieced up, always in a suit, always carried himself super professionally, had that one big hoop earring. And, dude was a different type of dude, man. People who try hating on MJ was insane. Yet Detroit beating up on MJ was insane. People forget those were like those Joe Dumars team. Dumars, Rodman was on that squad. Isaiah Thomas was on that squad. Those Piston team, Bill Lane Beer. Bill Lane Beer was straight up. You could watch YouTube highlights of Bill Lane Beer just forearming cats in the temple, and dudes going. Or watch check out the Philly roster when Barkley was in Philadelphia. You had Charles Barkley there. I think it was they had an enforcer. It might have been Charles Oakley before he went to the Knicks, but don't quote me on that. Those Philadelphia 76er teams when Barkley was there were super brutal too. Them cats would just beat you up on the court. That was the sport I grew up playing too, though. Oh, the Last Dance was it was a great documentary, dude. Amazing documentary. I loved it. Do you think Matias' fight goes the distance? I think it does. Bill Laimbeer was like Kenyon Martin before Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin, University of Cincinnati. He was a dog in college and had a great NBA career. Pippen was a stud too. Yeah, Bill Laimbeer. Scotty was a beast. it always bummed me out about Scotty. You know, on my first podcast I had, I interviewed the Aussie Luke Longley, and Longley was on the second run. I think he was on the second 3P team, and he said he on the podcast he lives in Perth, and he was talking about how he went to party once. I think he partied with Rodman one time. So yeah, he had to be on the second 3P. He said never again. But yeah, the NBA was different back then. We had a drill. So my high school team, you know, our basketball program was, I'm a Lakers fan since '99. Kobe and Shaq, going to be a good weekend. Let's get that money. Nothing beats Bird Johnson rivalry. I mean, Bird Johnson. You got to throw Isaiah Thomas in that same sort of statement, Alexander, because Isaiah had his own little rivalry with Magic, you know, on the little side, and then they all kind of had their own rivalry with MJ. Bird was, you know, a little bit before MJ, but still played with him. But Bird was on top. Then, yeah, great rivalry. Willy Wonka in the house. Guys, we're 47 minutes in, wherever you're tuning in. By this time on the live stream, as you can tell, we're talking NBA. We could talk about hip-hop. You got those boxing questions, you can shoot them in. Mamba mentality. To this day, you know, when Kobe got drafted out of Lower Merion High School in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he got drafted. I'm pretty sure that was a draft day trade, which sent him to LA. One of the biggest crazy mix-ups, I think. People knew coming out of high school that dude was a stud. Berlanga gonna Mama mentality Shiraz. To this day. I hope Berlanga Mama mentality Shiraz. I hope I'm not reading that wrong. I think so. Yeah. I think that's who he went to draft day, and then there was a trade, and they sent him to LA, and it was crazy. Man, he was a joy to watch. Kobe was a joy to watch. I hated him because I was a Cleveland fan. But I think any sort of sports fan who understands any sport could say that. Do you think Shakur fight? I think the safe pick is Shakur on the money line. I'm still flirting, Chiv, on am I going to go on the... Because I could also see a path to victory with Shakur stopping Zepeda, but give me a day or so. Give me a day or so. I'm going to rewatch those two Tevin Farmer fights. Berlanga's a beast. Shiraz going to bring it out of him. I think so. People were underestimating, I think, Berlanga. Yeah, he did go to work, man. Yeah, it was sad. Maradona, soccer goat, one of the goats, one of my favorites. So I not only listen to hip hop, something you guys definitely don't know about me. I also I know. I know all about Maradona and the World Cup. Guys, I'm not just a boxing guy. Yeah, no, his training. I've seen the training montage. The dude is a savage. This guy was, dude, his fight montages are insane. Let alone, non highlights of what he would do with the ball, but like just scrapping dudes on the field. The whole world has changed. You know what I mean? Every sport has changed. But one of my favorite, I listen to a lot of not only hip hop, but punk, like indie punk music. And there's a song, one of my favorite songs is called Maradona versus Elvis. Yeah, Maradona has a fight montage. This dude was so dirty. Google, YouTube it. He was so good, but so dirty. Steroid up because they used to beat him up. Mark my words, bro. Boxing fan, let's go. Your words are marked, brother. Your words are marked. I'm feeling it. Yeah, the world's changed with for some reason, the powers that be, they don't want physicality anymore, which sucks. I always tell people that I feel the world would be a lot safer. There'd be a lot less bullying with younger people if they taught boxing or taught jiu-jitsu or taught MMA in schools. My dad had to take me to a fight gym when I was 7. I was just fortunate enough to have a father who had the wherewithal to understand that, growing up in Youngstown, Ohio in the late 80s, early 90s, he knew I was going to get into some fights. And it was normal. Fighting, dude, fighting as a 9-year-old is crazy. I tell my girlfriend these stories because she's from Sydney. She's like, high corporate. We grew up in two different worlds. And I'll tell her these stories about fighting being an 8-year-old and 9-year-old in the bathrooms. In my group of friends, we had one rule: even if you get beat up, if anybody tells the teacher, we're beating you up after. So like dudes would just get beat up and not allowed to tell nobody. It was normal. And my dad had one rule: if you come home and you got beat up, and I find out that you didn't beat anybody up, he was like, I'm beating you up. that was his rule. He was like, if I find out you get into a fight and you get beat up and you don't fight back, when you get home, I'm beating you up again. But he never did. He was a jokester, but I believed him. Yeah, the bathroom fights, dude. Shut the door right by the urinals, boy. My first street fight happened in the bathrooms. I was 7 against the new kid named Chris Williams. Boxing fan, your son. We got to keep it. All right, I'll keep it PC. Let's go, Berlanga. Yep, yes, sir. DJ, damn tough love. Very much. I could tell you crazy stories. I can tell you crazy, insane. But I think that it's important for young people to learn skills, discipline, how to defend themselves with, and it's not about violence at all. It's not about hurting people. It's about self-respect and more importantly, confidence. Yeah, my parents had me playing 2 combat sports. American football, I always put American football as a combat sport. So as a 7-year-old, I was playing American football, boxing, basketball, and baseball. And just thought that was normal. Thought it was, and did 4 sports up until I was 15, and then stopped boxing. I stopped boxing when I was 15. But guys, we're approaching 52 minutes. It's 1:30. I need to get something to eat soon. Stay tuned to the channel, guys. I'm going to be okay. Appreciate you, boxing man. Let it roll. We're going to be getting into the nitty-gritty of the locks of the week tomorrow and Thursday. I already posted my long parlay for the month of July. Here we go. Have luck. Guys, we're going to pull our hair out. If we like Berlanga, we can pull our hair out about the boxing match side of things. But yeah, he couldn't stop Quigley. But then again, the counter argument, Canelo couldn't stop Berlanga. Okay? How does Shiraz do against Canelo? What's Shiraz's best win? Ammo Williams? Do you think Ammo Williams is world class? Do you even think Ammo's a natural 160 guy? So I like Berlanga. I'm going to end it on this. I think I like Berlanga's hand speed. I like Berlanga's power. I think as long as the fight happens in the pocket, as long as Edgar can get past Shiraz's jab, and as long as he can navigate that jab and get on the inside, I think Berlanga's going to catch him. I'm happy with that. Okay, I like the bet. Guys, stay tuned. I appreciate all the support. Everybody who's joined as a member, YouTube is allowing you guys to hit join as a member. That's going to allow me to post member-only content like live streams and special videos. I'm gonna release more news on the channel, let you guys know more about that. Like stuff like, hey Johnny, do a breakdown of this video, and I could do content only you guys will see. So if you can support the channel in any way, if it's subscribing, if it's liking the video, please do that. Always appreciated. Guys, I just uploaded Imam Khataev versus Morrell, and tomorrow I'm uploading Shakur versus, we haven't even talked about Shakur versus Cepeda. And stay tuned to the channel. Joseph, you just go to my channel and I think it gives you an option. Subscribe. I just found out about this anyway. Everybody who subscribed, thank you guys.